Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Not yet.
Hello.
Hi. Let me begin by introducing myself. My name is Varus. I am
Mhm.
the Denali's apprentice as well as the lead account manager. Everything set?
Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you repeat your question to me, please?
I just introduced myself. My name is Varus. I am Ethan's apprentice as
Right.
well as the lead account manager of the team. Um, Apologies for the mix-up. There might have been a technical issue back then. And so I saw you booked in a meeting. Can you tell me a bit more about what's the focus that you have with the business right now? Where do you need assistance with? And I can give you some feedback on that.
Sure. So I've been looking on Alibaba and AliExpress. I've got suppliers.
Hmm.
Um, I've been not working since October last year.
Hmm.
I basically I'm wanting to start a business, but I've got multiple sclerosis, so I want to get the feel or the vibe for what I'm doing and be
Hmm.
able to, once I'm up and running and I'm physio is over and my MS relapse is gone, I want to be able to just hit the ground running with it. So now is like a learning time for myself.
Interesting. So can you tell me a bit more about the business that you want to work on?
It's clothing. So I live at the Gold Coast in
Oh yeah,
Queensland.
I'm based in the Gold Coast, yeah.
Oh, awesome. So I do see a lot of, the young girls and that wearing a lot of the active wear, like the short tight shorts and the crop tops and stuff. And I'm thinking,
Hmm.
is this something that I can jump in on? Because it is so popular.
Yeah.
Um, I'm wanting to be able to, yeah, basically start my own line. So I have been in marketing for 12 years. Um, I don't know so much the analytics for the Facebook and the Instagram, so to speak. So
Hmm.
I'm probably more of an outdated marketer. Um, so I'm just wanting some coaching, and that's why I've reached out. I just want to know where I can go moving forward to be able to just learn what I'm doing, in order for me to succeed on my own.
I'll definitely get to that in a second. But
Yep.
before I get into any of that, let's first further understand the business model so that I could obviously tell you the area that you can focus on.
Yep.
So would you have been fine with any business model, or you specifically want to run a fashion-based brand because that's something that speaks to you and you have a long-term goal and vision with your brand?
Look, I'm happy with anything. This is what I want to be doing. I mean, I haven't been paid for nearly 6 months.
Hmm.
I'm just wanting to work from home,
Hmm.
and be able, like the e-commerce thing screams at me. I want to be able to, I guess, more or less do that. And be able to manage my multiple sclerosis because I can't work
Hmm.
full time in an office. It's getting too much for me. I am relapsing at the moment, so. My balance is off. I'm completely normal, but when I walk, I look like I'm drunk. I'm not. I wish I was. Um, so working from home is super ideal. My partner works for Australasian, which is pretty big.
Hmm.
They're just doing a shop fitting for Witchery at Pack Fair at the moment.
Hmm.
But I want to be able to travel with him
Hmm.
and be able to work as well. I think having a disability shouldn't stop me from being able to work. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
not one to go to Centrelink. I don't want to take taxpayers' money. I want to
Hmm.
earn legitimately my own money and not have to worry. I'm pretty much down to my last couple of hundred.
Hmm.
We had an overseas trip. We had a bike accident. So I've been struggling to get better.
Hmm.
Where is my partner? He's broken 6 ribs and he's back at work.
Hmm.
So I just want to be able to work from home and
Hmm.
yeah. So
So
clothing, yes,
is your partner supporting you right now?
more or less. We've both sort of been contributing, but it's coming to the point also now where I need to just, I need to get something moving to be able to feel fulfilled and give me a quality of life because yeah, I mean there is savings there. I don't want to tap into that. I just want to be able to
Mhm.
learn at the moment.
Yeah, perfect. Few things. Don't then go. Why did you pick e-commerce? It's a investment heavy business with
Uh
low margins and volume that is usually required to make profit.
okay. Look, I'm at a loss. I don't know where to go moving
Yeah,
forward. Yeah.
onwards. What do you want to do if money wasn't a concern and time wasn't a concern and any of that wasn't a concern?
See, this is the question I've been asking myself because I just want to be happy in my role. All I know, all I've come up with is just working from home. Being able to market,
Even
staying
if
in,
money and time wasn't a concern. I'm just thinking about this in the long-term
yeah,
perspective. 10 years, 20 years, like what sort of business do you want to have at that stage? Let's suppose you were a different person. You were born in a different body tomorrow, and you had all the, like you were born tomorrow as Elon Musk. What would you do?
I really can't answer it. I really
Hmm.
can't. I'd love
Yeah.
to. I wish I
Interesting.
was.
Is there something you enjoy? What sort of
Mhm.
skills or things do you like to do besides
Mhm.
fashion and e-commerce? Because the thing is, it's going to be a learning curve as well, especially because if you haven't done it before.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that like Dunning-Kruger effect?
No.
That's basically, I'll just share it with you right now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna go to Google,
Hmm.
Dunning-Kruger effect. So this is what the Dunning-Kruger effect looks like basically.
Okay.
Um, I'm just gonna zoom in a bit so you can see it on your phone. But
Okay.
it's like this slope. What
Yeah.
happens is this is confidence
Hmm.
and this is competence.
Yeah.
Whenever we don't know enough about something, we think we are gonna get really good results like crypto or all of these new flashy business ideas and things like that, right? So in the
Yeah.
beginning, you have a lot of confidence.
Hmm.
So this is called the peak of Mount Stupid. You can ignore that. But then what happens later on is you start the venture and then
Hmm.
you realize that, oh, it has these 100 different things that I need to sort out that are tricky and these 20 different problems that are showing up. So you go into the valley of despair.
Uh-huh.
And then you gradually get better, you build the business, you learn the skills necessary to make it successful. Just like, so what was the previous job that you did?
Marketing. So I've been doing that for 12 years.
So like imagine when you started marketing, you would have been like, this is such a good career, everything is going to be super easy and smooth. And then when you started, you realize, oh no, I have to climb the corporate ladder or I have to learn these 20
Yeah.
different skills. Or the
Yes.
trends are changing, everything is moving too fast, it's hard to acquire clients. So then you realize that then you gradually step by step get better. And then
Hmm.
eventually you get to sustainable business, right? But what
Yes.
happens is you right now
Uh-huh.
don't know the value of despair of e-commerce.
No, I don't.
So, because you haven't done it before.
Yes.
So, and there are other skills. So, like with marketing and other areas, you might already be at a level where you have made the mistakes. You know what not to do.
Mm.
And somebody who has no idea or who's starting out probably is going to fail because he, again, doesn't know about the value of despair, right? But the thing is, it applies to most businesses as well, which is why if you just do something that you
Yep.
really know how to do and you're good at,
Yes.
you make much more because it's something that you have spent years developing, right?
Learning that. Yep.
But there are a few different approaches as well over here that could be done, which comes to the business model.
Okay.
So with the business model side of things, um, first one is the fact that you might be in a position where the main reason I won't recommend e-commerce is going to be you're catching a trend, the trend might expire. You
Okay.
would be against these much bigger players, or you'd be fighting against Kmart, and you need to figure out the shipping, the transport, all of those things, right? Requires a lot of manpower, requires a lot of, and if you right now you just don't want to be in a position to do that, it's a
Mm-mm.
longer game. In that case, do something that doesn't require time, can be done from home,
Okay.
and is virtually deliverable.
Okay.
And something that, based on what you just told me,
Hmm.
I feel like that might help out. And the audience that you're working with can 100% be recurring and
Okay.
also invest and do all of those things.
Hmm.
How about, so okay, so what are things you're passionate about? I can make a few different suggestions, but like what are the things you like enjoy doing? What are your hobbies and stuff?
Mm. I wish I wish that I could say that I really had them. I my passion, I love cooking. I
Mhm.
don't want to be a chef or anything like that. They're all crazy, but yeah, look, I've
Look, cooking is good. You
yeah,
could teach cooking or do cooking classes virtually to um, people who might be parents of kids who have disability or something like that, who get
yes,
funding via NDIS. So they have the money. They can
yes,
pay you easily. And because you have, so this multiple sclerosis that you just mentioned earlier,
yes,
use it to your advantage. Use it as a strength. It's gonna go away with some time anyways, right? But right now you could use this as a factor to be more relatable to the family members who might have children with or people in their family who are disabled or have physical disabilities that I have the same issues myself, so I know what they feel like. I know
yeah,
what they go through. And I have been able to manage myself, which is why the lessons and everything else that you're learning from me is probably the best.
okay,
And it could be virtually serviced. You could collect money virtually.
mhm,
And it just comes down to sales skills. And it is something you could start tomorrow. Like
okay,
you don't need to, I know, like you don't need to get a supplier and then order a shipment via credit and then build a Shopify store and then integrate it with Stripe and do all that technical jargon and then try to sell it, right?
exactly, yeah,
And the thing is, here's the other thing, most businesses are going to be difficult anyways,
yeah,
right?
ex
But what we are
yes,
doing here are two skills that you already know and are good at or have experience with. So, like handling this disability, you have done this for a while. You
yes,
know what it's like. So
hmm,
it's easier for you to relate to people who might have family members or the people who are physically disabled themselves, right?
yes, yes.
And you already know cooking that you mentioned earlier, but is there something else too? Because based on what you tell me, I can make suggestions and ideas and
Yeah.
formulate how it could be executed.
Mm. Look, I that's my only hobby. I don't. I mean, I cook and I look after my partner, and and I keep the house clean. And that's it. Like, and I'm sorry to say, but that's all I guess passionate about doing. And it sounds sad.
No, it is
Um,
not. It's an advantage. You don't have the commitments that most people have, which is why they can't do the things that you have the option of doing right now. Like
mhm.
your partner can't start a new business tomorrow, or like he can't like reach out to people and try to get clients and do all of those different things. Because
Yes.
you have time right now, you can use that time however you want to use it.
Yeah.
And that's like something that most people don't have time, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, and time is like it just becomes a skill efficiency, the next thing is. So it's like you just don't know how to use that time for something that would then make you money. And that's
Yes.
something that we could fix right now. First thing is, I think how good are you at sales? I
I
feel
would
like
say
you have experience.
pretty good.
Yeah, so a few different options we could test out here. But the thing
Okay.
is, if you're good at sales, you could sell anyone, and that's probably the thing I would do. I would figure out a few different business models. Like
Mhm.
you could reach out to people cold and
Yeah.
sell them. Like you
Hmm.
could do cold outreach and set up meetings and then sell them. And the thing is, you would be able to and maybe sell a high ticket product or long-term services or whatever, right? But here's the
Yes.
potential option here. So with the previous things that you love to cook and
Hmm.
take care of the house and do all of those different things,
Yes.
how we can potentially link this up with Disability Plus and target the NDIS industry because they're stickable. They can do it on a
Yes.
regular basis.
Mhm.
Moreover, it's also something that how should I put it? They're not spending their own money,
Yeah.
right? So here's how that could look like. Most parents or most people who might have kids with autism or physical disabilities or whatever
Yes.
want them to be independent. They want them to develop a certain style of life. But because everybody who is a caretaker or a support worker, 90% of them are like don't have the skills or the vision and they're in it for the money.
Yeah.
Um, they compromise so much that they can't even consider the fact that at this stage he might be able to do something that is
Yeah.
more fun or more normal or things like that, right? And like
Yes.
quite often it's like basic stuff like making your lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So how else is like living your life or being independent means developing these skills, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know that. They might have given up on that. I
Yeah.
think that's a messaging around which you could potentially build a model which would also be impactful and help people directly. So it's valuable enough that you
Yeah.
should make money just because the service is so good. So it's
Yes.
like selling crop tops might not have the level of impact that this would. And because
Yes.
this has the level of impact it does, it should be easier to sell and to fulfill, like, um, seriously, because
Yeah.
it's a valuable product. And if the product is great, then by default you make more money, right?
Yeah.
So this could be something that helps people with disability develop life skills.
Yes. I
Um,
my only hesitation with that is it's just going to come back to support work. So it'll be those people that don't have those skills to be able to do, like, how do you migrate something into the NDIS package or whatnot when they've got support workers or the
because support workers don't do it. You can literally reach out and you will find this that most parents or loved ones, or even you will reach out to support workers. I'll give you all the strategies, but they would already know
uh
that it's a pain in like most support like most support workers can't. They are only there to watch the person or drive them around or take them, clean them up, do all like because heck, they don't know how to do it on for themselves. How would they do it for someone else,
yes.
right? Like
Yes.
half of them are students from international countries, or you have something else going on, and it's like they're figuring their life out.
Hmm.
So how do you expect someone who doesn't have his own life in order to help someone else who needs a lot more of it to do that, right? So the reason I'm able to say that is because I have one of the clients who is in the disability sector, and the way we marketed him or the way we positioned him and the way it was successful was super easy. We
Okay.
targeted the pain points and mentioned the reality of the NDIS industry. We were like, are you alive? You feel like your participant or the person with disability is struggling to make friends, struggling to feel empowered, do things that they normally would do, and they're feeling stressed and pressured. And you notice them over time that they give up on all of these things that they felt like they should do, but like
Yes.
just it's like you've been doing it for it's like over time you start compromising. It just happens. It has been like some people, if they're taking care of their kid who is disabled since young and now he's 14, it has been 14 years since that parent has been dealing with shitty support workers,
Yeah.
turning them around. So he was like the overwhelm and the burnout happened like 14 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it's like we told them, but what if we could figure a way out in which we understand all of these things because we've been through that ourselves. And I
Yes.
will show you the step-by-step strategies and work with you to do the things that nobody else is doing, which is empower them, which is help them learn these practical life skills, which is work with them in a way that is tailored to them because I've been through the same thing myself. And
Hmm.
that would then over time, if they can start making they can go from observing you make lunch to them making the lunch themselves. And
Yeah.
then finally having that ability, and then those lifestyles and those habits stack on top of each other. And over time, they would be independent. They would start thinking, they would develop those cognitive abilities that are
Yes.
necessary to then have them live just like how everyone else is living, right?
Yes.
So, like, even if you look at it with girls, for example, so
Hmm.
this is another angle that you could take.
Okay.
Women want to do things that like women would normally want to do here and make like do activities like that, have
Hmm.
fun around or talk about gossip or whatever.
Yeah.
And if she's not getting the chance to do these things, you could do it with them. Show them how to do it, give them those experiences, stimulate them, that then allows them to later on, instead of it just being something like you're sitting there watching the person and they're on their phone scrolling,
Yeah.
actively engaging, right? And the parents and the caretakers would see that and
Yeah.
would connect with you based on that. Now, the way to acquire these clients, there are a few different ways. First one is you could find people who already service NDIS. Um,
Mhm.
so this could be like if it's physical disability, people who provide those products, or local businesses who might be like there are hundreds of things in the NDIS ecosystem, and we would need to find those that already have like a list of clients, right?
Yes.
And the other thing is just directly going to support workers who also have clients. And what
Mm.
we could tell them is, um, you might be experiencing these problems, and this is why you lose clients.
Yeah.
I have had disability experience with myself. I could come in and provide that extra service and
Yes.
also give you guys a share of the people that start working with me. And this would then further support their relationship with you guys. But
Mm.
also in return, um, what I could do is I have a client base that is wider, and the
Yeah.
people who are working with me, because I also work with people in the disability space, I
Right.
could recommend them your company in return. Obviously, you're not going to do that, but you can say it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
they feel like there's something in it for them. So they would then incentivize the parents so they can send an email blast to their existing database or something like that, right? And that
Yes.
would take, like you could send an email introducing my business to them, and I can send one to my audience who are in the
Yes.
disability space to work with you. And I love your work, I love your messaging, all of these things. So I really feel like we could, provide each other and help each other grow their businesses. And business owners want more money. So they'll be
Mm.
like, you can get me more clients, perfect. But
Yeah.
it's doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But even otherwise, it's still a service. And then you can do a free one-on-one session. So your first offer could literally be a free virtual cooking class.
Yep. Okay.
You could do it as a group. You could do it however you want.
Yep.
Seriously, super easy. Reach out to everybody. Be like, let's do a virtual cooking session together. During the session, you could share them these experiences, talk to the parents, tell them, like, counsel the parents as well, because I think that's equally important because they're the ones who are going to be deciding at the end of the day, right? And you're good
Yes.
at sales. So,
Yes.
and you have an irresistible offer, which is a free cooking session for kids with physical disabilities or something like that,
Yeah.
personalized to them, as well as advice for the parents what to do to help them empower and do all of these different things. You can
I,
then just take this messaging and
mhm.
this is also the thing that you can mention to the service providers. Be like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of doing a free cooking session. That's the
Yeah.
area that I want to focus on, help them develop these skills.
Yeah.
And I will have people with disability present, and I could recommend them your business in return as well. And if
Yeah.
you guys can ask your you know, s- clients or
Yeah.
participants to then join the session. And you
Mhm.
could do it on a daily basis. Be like, I do it once a day at
Yep.
the following time. And
Yes.
then during that, towards the end, you just offer them a package. Be like,
Per
so if some of you guys want to do this ongoing or long term, you
yes.
can reach out to me privately, or we could plan something together. And then based on the interactions in the webinar, just email all the participants or text them or call them.
Okay.
After the webinar, sell everyone or sell all the leads, close all the leads. They
Yeah.
already warm, they already know who you are, and they would love to talk because you're
Yeah.
talking about their problems. You'd be like, how's life been? Like, how has it been? Like, is it stressing you out? And then, they become your best friends within 20 minutes
Hmm.
because they're so frustrated.
Yeah.
And you're able to then break their limiting beliefs where they might be telling themselves this isn't possible or this won't work. And you tell them this would work because I've done it.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
like the living proof here. I have the disabilities too. Um,
Yes.
right. And
Yes.
I was able to still be independent and not and have the same goals and ambitions that people normally would have, despite what the society would think or people would think and or what my partners would think, right? And
Yes.
that's why I feel like your kid is special, and I would like to work with you guys to then
Yeah.
help you
Hmm.
and whatever they want, like
Yeah.
manage your stress better, help them develop these life skills so they can start being more independent, they can start being more happy, so that you're not dependent on NDIS, but at some stage you become independent of it. Even if you
Yes.
don't become independent, you at least get to a stage where you're able to think for yourself and do things right. And
Mhm.
unlike the disability workers who are with you for hours, you
Yeah.
just need to do like one session a day or every few days with me. And we
Okay.
could do something along those lines, and you could price it at whatever. A long-term 8 weeks program priced at $2,000 or something,
Okay.
right? That includes like two sessions a week plus activities, and that's the thing, activities. We're gonna do activities
Mhm.
together. In one, we can talk about cleaning the house. In the other, we could talk about, I don't know, like things that you would think they would want to hear based on the person personalized it to them.
And is there something that, well, obviously funded through the NDIS, but um, I guess the NDIS would need to approve?
I think you shouldn't have that issue. Even
Okay.
if you do, I'm sure the parents would pay outside the NDIS too, because many lose their fundings. So like this should be something they can, because again, they're not paying for you like they pay for support workers,
Okay. Yeah.
right? But I think if you
It's
can figure this thing out, if this can be the funding part, this
right.
should make it a no-brainer. If you don't, you just need to be better at sales.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing is, so many people provide shit services in NDIS,
Yeah, they
random
do.
things that don't make any sense. So I'm
Yeah.
sure this is something much better than that, and you shouldn't have any issues.
Okay.
And you don't need to wait to get certified or anything. You can start this tomorrow. Actually, do start it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It will get you the experience that when finally you might get the approval for NDIS or something, uh,
Yeah.
and then it's free. So you're able to close much higher versus right now, even if they have to spend money on it, um, it's still fine because I'm sure they can spend money on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I just think a lot of people they wouldn't have money if they've like the families, they don't have that money. So say 2 grand for 8 weeks. This is what
Break
I.
it down. It's like $50, $100 a week. Not $100, like $200 a week.
Yeah.
But like how they're already spending tons of money. Like how much is it gonna cost them if
Yeah.
their child doesn't develop these skills? They're gonna
Yeah.
be more dependent on support workers for a longer period of time and on these all of these other things. And plus you can't put a price on transformation and life, right? So you're changing their life and
Mm.
the thing is it's not like 2000 is literally not a lot. Like you're doing 2 sessions a day. It's like not 2 sessions a week or whatever you decide to point it along, but that is, and nobody can do what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, know
Okay.
your value. Plus, you need to grow the business too. So, you can't do it for free either. And when they're paying, they would see the value in it and they would take it seriously too. So, the
Yeah.
other reason you want to price things higher is because it would attract clients who can
Okay.
spend money. Right now, I would recommend sell high ticket, even if you could sell it cheaper. Even if
Yeah.
you can sell it for $500. I mean, if you're getting like, if you just want to make a quick sale, you could sell something really cheap. Be like,
Yeah.
we could do this for the next month for 500. And
Yeah.
everybody would say yes to that. Be like, 500? No problem. Super easy. But then
Okay.
you'd be like, do I want to take people who can only spend 500? Again,
Mm.
up to you. You can test out different price points. You can test out
Yes.
different things. And
Okay.
based on that, you would start seeing, but because you have marketing experience and you're able to understand people
Yeah.
and all the psychology and sales and all of those things, so this should be super easy. And compared, like, I don't think most people could do this. You're
Yeah.
able to do it because it uniquely fits your skills, everything. Like you're
Yeah.
doing housework, you have marketing experience, currently are overcoming a disability. So this is something that pretty much is like if somebody wanted to copy you, how would they copy you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So you use that to your strength, and
Okay.
um, then it would be like a volume numbers game.
Hmm.
If you've done sales, like even if you close 10% or 5%,
Yeah.
but you reached out to enough people, and right now you have time.
Yes.
You could combine one to many and one to ones. Like
Mhm.
you could spend the whole day talking to people, and I'm sure you'll get clients. Like, what sort of volume would it take for this not to fail?
Yeah.
1,000 people?
Hmm.
I'm
Oh.
sure if 100%. How much is 1,000 people? It's like 100 reach outs a day for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Could
You've
be doable.
definitely you've definitely got my brain ticking.
And it is going to be difficult too, but it's still doable compared to starting an e-commerce business,
Yeah, okay. Okay.
right? Because it still requires effort and time, but that is your effort and time. It
Yeah.
doesn't require money. And that's the area where right now you might hit a wall if you run
Mhm.
into something that requires you to invest, because almost businesses require investment
Yeah.
in the beginning. And they're outside your competence as well. So
Yeah.
why do things the hard way?
Yeah, you're totally right.
I know.
Okay.
It would be depressing if after all of this you still are not able to do it because it should be doable. It should be easy. Okay, so here's an idea or a suggestion. If you gradually want to take some work off your hands, hire a virtual assistant. Not
Okay.
the expensive ones. Go to Facebook groups, jobs in Sri Lanka, jobs in India, jobs in Pakistan, jobs in whatever, right? Third world
Yeah.
countries, looking for women
Yeah.
because you don't want to deal with men. And this is the business model. Like they make 100 to 200 bucks a month, 300 bucks a month is their basic salary, and that person would work 8 hours for you. You would get most people who have been university graduates newly, like you don't want a PhD, right? So you could spend 200, 300 bucks and have them do the cold reach outs, nurture
Mm-hmm.
the leads. So, like the lead nurturing phase, which is once they know you, now you need to work the leads, the follow-ups. Hey, I thought about you. Hey, you mentioned that your child was struggling with this. Here is something that I think would help you guys. Hey,
Yeah.
here's another resource that I think you really need to hear. Here's a vision board. Why don't you do an activity where so you can get their vision boards on Canva for free? So you just
Yeah.
download a template and you just send it to them. Be like, I think you should guys should do this activity together, right? And that person can then make those personalized relationships and friendships with people.
Yes.
And by default, over time, they're gonna convert. And if she's spending 8 hours a day doing that,
Mhm.
and you're just and women are more loyal, especially
Yeah.
in third world countries because they don't get a lot of opportunities, and they are
Okay.
not gonna be weird either. And they are also more, how should I put it? Like it would be easier for you to educate them, and like you need a team
Yeah. Yeah.
you need an army to win the war. It takes a village, the way people say it. Uh, because there might be times. Think of this as a fail-safe for
Okay.
when you for when you might get uh, busy or wanna step back or whatever. So it's
Yeah.
like if you make 100 calls and you only make two sales, and at that stage you're like, I don't think I want to do this. Like I
Yeah.
still need to make 900 more calls, find the leads, all that stuff. So be like, that's where the other person who is literally getting paid to do that whole day, she's taking it as a job,
Yeah.
right? So she would do it regardless. And that should then still add an extra layer of client acquisition to you
Okay.
guys. In regards to marketing, it's just the offer. But because you're doing cold outreach, you don't need to run paid ads.
Yeah.
And paid ads are going to require investment too, right? So like you could run a paid ad saying free virtual cooking session for people with and parents who have children with disability or whatever, right?
Hmm.
That would work well. But at the same time, in the beginning, cold outreach, you just need a few clients and then you can reinvest that back into the business. And if you're able to do this the right way, it would
Yes.
scale a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes I come up with business ideas and then I'm like, maybe I should have done that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
it has a long lifeline because it's recurring. People in
yes.
disability would want to work with you on a regular basis, just like they work with support workers. There is a demand.
Yeah.
They have the finances.
Hmm.
Um, it's easier to market and service. It's in your area of competency.
Yes.
So the lead generation is doable through affiliates, through cold lead routes. The
Yeah.
lead nurture is doable through emails, phone, text messages, whatever. Be friends with them, have the VA be friends with them. The sales part is doable because you're good at sales. You can set a meeting, you can call them, like seriously call them, annoy people. You know that if you've done
Yeah.
sales before, so you would know you just call the leads if you call them within 5 minutes or you set up a meeting and you
Yeah.
don't make it look like a sale. You're like, hey, so how about I give you guys a personalized cooking experience or something, right?
Hmm.
Reciprocal. You could do it for people who are qualified.
Yeah.
So look at the people who like, if the parent looks like they're successful, for example, they're a business owner, or they're someone who's a doctor or whatever. So you could see based on that I could provide extra value to them because
Yeah.
the chances of them converting are higher. I wouldn't do that for a high school kid.
Yeah.
So this is where you can look at the leads, and because you would have information on them, if you're asking them or just talking to them, or just looking at their background, you would be able to make those distinctions.
Yeah.
Convert the high quality leads, sell them more harder, versus the low quality can be made on a one-to-many style on webinars and through emails. And so like high ones can be done one-on-ones, low quality ones, your virtual assistant, plus fortnightly sessions and
Yeah.
email nurturing and follow-ups. But the thing is, again, most people these days don't buy as easily. But like if they get 7, 8 touch points, they should be able to make the purchase. You have
Okay.
to be at the top of their mind. They might buy 1 month later. Perfectly fine. If you've done sales, you would know that. There's a
Yeah,
longer buyer cycles quite often.
definitely.
But the model makes sense. It looks like a business, not like something I threw together that I have no idea about. It makes sense. Now you just need to execute it. And you can start by executing it by making a list. You could do that by reaching out to support workers or other people in the space. Like I could Google NDIS um, support workers near me or in my
Yes.
area or something like that. A lot of them, like you could do this Australia-wide because it's virtual, but even in Gold Coast, right? Um,
Mhm.
and that's the thing. It's Australia wide. There's no shortage of people. So even if you're failing in the beginning or you send the wrong emails, um, there are more
Yeah,
who don't
definitely.
know that you embarrassed yourself with the previous person,
Yeah.
right?
Perfect. Yes.
Yes. So it's just going to be about how much time and effort you put into it. And the more time and effort you put into it, the better results you will get.
Is it possible for you to shoot me an email with everything that we've spoken about today? Because I think it's something that's, you know, it's going to be a really great idea, but I just need my computer. I've got a HP desktop touchscreen, and just, I just got it back from the repairer, and now
Mhm.
it's making this fire alarm noise when I turn it on,
Yeah,
hence the phone.
sure, I
Um,
can do that.
that would be amazing,
But I would also
honestly.
say if your ideas are fresh right after this call, note them down or record them on your phone,
Yes, perfect. I will be
right?
doing that.
Like literally just voice record everything that you heard. Map
Yes.
out the whole plan, the first thing. So I would just make it simple, 5 stages:
Okay.
lead generation,
Yep.
lead nurture, sales, fulfillment, retention, and ascension. Lead generation, affiliates, cold reach outs, all of that stuff. Lead
Mm-hmm.
nurture, follow-ups, all of those things. Sales, obviously, you set up calls with them or you sell them. Figure out the offer that you're going to sell. Fulfillment, that's where it comes in. The cooking classes, the other experiences, the activities. Also in lead generation, the messaging, how you're going to position this with the empowerment aspect that this is a business that is there to do help you develop independent skills. Do the gap selling framework,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
right?
Okay.
Like you can listen to Gap Selling, the audiobook. That's literally what I explained earlier. Um, you empower people to help them make the right choice, and
Yeah.
you overcome their limiting beliefs, which is like, this is not possible, it is possible. You talk
Mm.
about the pain. They're struggling because no support workers were able to do it. The reward, because they want their child to be independent, do all of those things. Why is that reward important to them? So that they can, feel better, whatever. Why is the pain hurtful? Have they done something to fix the pain so far? It didn't work. Why is this different to everything they've tried before? So it's like the gap selling framework, pretty much. And it's a book by Kennan, if you've heard about it.
No.
You can gap selling. Um, just look it up later on.
Yeah.
You can listen to it. But that's like people pay for change.
Yeah.
They pay for solutions. They don't pay for the service. And we
Hmm.
want to orient our marketing messaging around the change. It's the
Yeah.
state they are in right now and the state where they want to be. And the gap between it is where we provide our service to move them from one state to the next state. And that's how we are positioning our product and sale, right? You're right
Yeah.
now, they don't have the skills, they're stressed, they're overwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. You want to be in a place where they're no longer dependent. You have all these activities, they're having fun, they're doing things that kids their age normally should be doing, right?
Hmm.
We could do makeup sessions together. We could talk about, voice together, talk about like use TikTok, like whatever. I just made that up. Cooking, easy for you, whatever you want to do. And that would then help them develop these skills, cognitive abilities, your personal experience, strength
Hmm.
point, use that. Finally, retention and ascension, create a Facebook group if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Loyalty, they are part of a society, there's higher retention.
Okay.
You could email sequences, nurturing sequences, offers for next time you come in, you get it at an even discounted price, bundles for long-term purchases. Ascension. Don't worry about Ascension right now. First, let's get the first client. Like, I don't want to overwhelm you too much, but Ascension would be like
Yeah.
what more expensive services you could offer them.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
use that framework.
I think this is exactly what I needed.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank
It
you.
would be very here's the other thing. I'm good at formulating and telling people what to do.
Yeah.
Most people still don't do it.
Yeah.
So I hope you do it. All right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I definitely, I think if you can send me some dot points, obviously I'll do a recording for what I've taken from today, but um,
Yeah, it'll be fun to see you change everything if you can do it. This
yeah,
is a model and opportunity that should allow you to do that. Like this is literally a business model that can make millions if it's done right.
yeah, perfect. Is it something that, what do I need to do to get support? So I'm not just doing it on my own. Is it
Just
something,
text me.
hey,
Just text me.
okay,
The thing is, right
perfect.
now you can't become a client of ours because we charge 5 to 10,000 a month for our done for you programs and service. And based on everything you heard from me, you know that we are good enough. There's a reason why we are at the best because like within this 1 hour, I was able to break things down to the level. So if it's done for a longer period, it makes things a lot easier, right? And that
Yeah,
comes from insights into business and everything. But again, I would also personally like to see if you're able to make this happen or not. So if
yeah.
you run into issues, just text me on my phone.
Okay.
You
Did
can't
you
send us
text me?
emails because this is outside my work capacity.
Right. Okay.
Because again, you're not a client. So if you email the company, they'd be like, why are you servicing? Or just being in touch with people when you should work with the existing clients, right? But
Yeah.
still, and I might not be able to provide you a lot of support because again, I am probably the most in-demand person right now in the company.
Yeah. You
But
will.
besides that, I'm sure everyone's like every few days or something, based on whatever you send and how busy I am, like I would give you answers and things so you don't get stuck and you keep things moving. But
Thank you.
also, this is the thing that you need to overcome on your own as well, right?
Hmm.
Because if you're able to do this, you won't be dependent on others or other services or things like that. And the other reality is most marketing companies or most content companies or most businesses are also run by people just like you. And most of them don't know what they're doing either.
Yeah.
And there's a fairly high chance that just if you had money, you
Hmm.
wouldn't, it doesn't guarantee success. So even if
Yeah.
you were rich and you still tried to launch the business, there's an equally high chance you would fail. So I
Yeah.
think right now it's easier because you don't have money. So you have to create something out of nothing and you're relying on cold outreach. Cold outreach is the easiest way to acquire clients.
Uh-huh.
You know what cold outreach is, right?
Kind of. Can you explain that?
Shit. Okay, I've been using all these terms. Um, Cold outreach is you directly reaching out to people.
Yes. Like a cold call, so to speak.
Cold DM, cold call, cold message, cold email, all of that stuff. So
Yes.
that's cold outreach.
Right.
Paid ads get you people coming to you. Most business owners don't want to do cold outreach because it has like a really high rejection rate.
Yeah.
And you might have to make change your emails. You might have to develop new Facebook IDs every now and then, or all of
Yeah.
that stuff. As well as with cold calls.
Mm.
But it works because it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
it's guaranteed to work.
Okay.
Like
But
it's pretty much guaranteed to work. You just need to not stop until it works, and it works, right?
yeah.
So like if you, like I said, if you reach out to 1,000 people, I'm
Mm.
sure you'll get your first 5 clients. I can guarantee that.
Okay. Amazing. This is great.
Yeah, but so that's cold outreach. And for the cold outreach, you need a list of contacts to reach out to. You can
Yes.
scrape it yourself. You can get the list from affiliates. You can get the list from um, virtual assistants. So this is
Right.
another area that if you can figure out a way to get details of parents who might be struggling with NDIS or whatever, and
Yeah.
you're able to reach out to them directly, or I think this is the thing, right? Most NDIS service providers or people who are in the same space might already have that audience. So this would be like your ability to compel people who have that audience and
Yeah.
then use moral authority when you're reaching out to them. I'm trying to make a difference. Plus, there's also
Yes.
something in it for you because I have existing audience, which you don't have, but you can lie about it. You will have it in the future.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I would promote your services to my audience, and you can promote
Yes.
mine to yours. And our
Perfect.
businesses don't clash with each other because I provide them more of a life empowerment style, coaching style thing, whereas you
Yes.
guys provide the actual service, right? So mine
Yes.
are mostly like consultation and experiential sessions I do virtually, and that can complement your service, and we can
Yes.
strengthen each other's businesses and both and I really compliment them. I love your vision. I saw the work you guys are doing. It looks great. Or anything else, you're in my local area, so it feels like we would be the right fit, or we have the same first name, or whatever, right? I'll give
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
any reason to come up with a way to make you guys look similar.
Yes.
Um, that's also a numbers game, affiliates.
Yep.
Otherwise, the main thing would be coming up with the list. Affiliates is one way you could do it. And same thing, if you reach out to 300 to 500 service providers, you'll find two or three that would say yes and give you the list or give you or promote you to their list.
Yes.
And so this is an area you'd have to prepare for. If they end up promoting you to their list, what are you going to offer? Do you
Yeah.
have an offer built right now? What are they going to say? Develop that right now.
Yeah.
Cooking sessions or life or housework or independent skill development, whatever you want to position it along the lines of, right? And
Yes.
then what you would do after that could be um, tell them that. Be like, I'm doing a free virtual cooking session. Plus, they can also potentially do a free meeting with me in which, if I sell them, I will give you guys a percentage of the profits. But more importantly, because I mean, I do one-on-ones and it's not like you already have stickability based on clients. I can promote your services to my clients and that makes them much more money.
Yes.
It's hours,
And
right? Like if you're doing one session and they do like 8 sessions, maybe in the future you could do NDIS yourself.
yeah.
Who knows? But for the time being, let's start this service and this thing along those lines.
Perfect. My head's going a million miles an hour of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect. This is what I wanted. Um, I think it's more valuable than just doing a clothing line or you've been so amazing. Um,
I have seen the mistakes made before.
okay.
So I just gave you a plan that already accounts for you not making those mistakes. And I have seen the
Yes.
areas where people don't have the clarity on what they need to do next, which is why they get stuck. So this
Yes.
plan doesn't have a lot of those loopholes either.
Yeah.
So this just comes from experience.
Yeah.
And at some stage, you'll be able to do the same thing. Like, I mean, I'm not that better. I'm a person as well, right?
Yeah.
It's just like I've consulted so many people or I've worked with so many businesses that I'm able to see the patterns.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, thank
You
you
are
for
amazing.
the time. Any last questions?
Can I please just have like a rundown email or a copy of
Sure.
the recording
Well, I
of the
can try
video?
to send that to you.
That
Yeah.
would be fabulous. Thank
All
you
right.
so
You
much. I
too.
really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time. See you soon. Have a great
Okay.
day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.